Yvette?
When you say that rage is a sin, is it still a sin if you're having an interaction with somebody, you're rageful and you go elsewhere, you are on the boxing bag, for example,
Yep.
processing your rage.
Yep. Well, now
You
owning
might
it
not
more.
hit grief, let's say, because you're a bit resistant. Are you still sinning in
Yep.
that place?
The reason why, if you look at rage, and let's say I go and punch a bag,
Mhm.
but I never get below it, right? Why am I punching the bag? What's my purpose of punching it? So it's like, I gotta let out all this bottled up anger. Now, I've got to let it out somewhere, don't want to hit Mary, so go outside, kick the boxing bag, bangs the boxing bag, like whatever. So I do that, but I don't get anything below it. What's happened? Why did I do that? What was my purpose?
So I'd get my addiction of my anger onto something else and not feel the fear.
No, what does anger give you?
Power.
Power. Gives you a sense of power. So your aim is to get power over your grief, over your fears. That's the purpose of anger. So I go out, kick the bag, bash the bag. If I don't understand, right, that my goal is to get power over my grief by doing this, then you can see that straight away expressing it is of no benefit to me at all. And in fact, it's supporting my concept that getting power over grief is a good thing. So it's that, even though I might not now be damaging Andy or kids or whatever, I'm still damaging my own self-concept. I'm still sinning against my soul. So it's still a sin, because my soul wants to let out the grief, and I'm saying, no, suppress it with power, with rage. You follow?
Yeah.
So I am still sinning because I'm still suppressing it. I'm still trying to control it. I'm still trying to get control of the fear and the grief that's under the fear. I'm still trying to gain some control. In addition, most of the time when we're in a rage, it's because my addiction wasn't back. So basically when I go out and punch a bag and say, like I'm really just having a tantrum about my addiction not getting met. Now, with a child, bringing up a child, because you brought up 3 now, right? So you know that whenever a child goes into a tantrum, do you get much sense out of them after that? Do they become more loving in their tantrum? Definitely not, do they?
No.
Like they become far more unloving in their tantrum, don't they? They'll hit you, punch you, they'll kick and scream, and they'll make the whole world know that they are avoiding their grief, right? And so this is the purpose of the rage, is to gain some power over it all.
And,
right?
and may I add, like, say I land in Yvette's life, I'll switch bodies with you, right? Tomorrow. I've been landing in this, or you are in a situation where you've got a lot of relationships, close relationships. You've got 3 kids and a husband you're living with.
Yep.
Now, where you are in your progression, like everyone in this room, you've got some addictions. You've also got some equality in these relationships. Some of it you've set up, some of it you've accepted. There's ways that you're being harmed, but also ways that you're demanding things of other people. And to sort all that out is going to take sensitivity, isn't it? It's going to take some consideration. You're going to have to feel yourself. You're going to have interactions, reflect, have some grief, have some fears maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But if I just, it's all happening and I'm like, ugh, I'm just angry, and I just go and punch a bag. What have I avoided? I've avoided all these difficult conversations. I've avoided all this sensitivity to myself and the people around me, and what do they really feel and what do I really feel? I know from my own experience, sometimes rage has been a way to almost detune further. It's a response to my overwhelm, if you like. Everything feels complicated. I just don't feel loved. I don't know if that's because my addiction isn't being met or other people are demanding, and the work is figuring all that out and being sensitive to all of that and being compassionate with yourself and everyone around you as you do that, because you're not going to get it tomorrow. But often my rage was a way to just avoid that whole sensitive, sometimes it feels scary and vulnerable and sometimes it feels sad. process of sorting out the relationships around you and yourself, and primarily yourself, but that will have an effect on the relationships around you.
Okay. Yeah. Because sometimes I hit the bang and then I can cry afterwards, but other times I won't be able to. So in that case, is it better to stop it and
Well, you know, the reason why you first need to hit the bag, in other words, have the tantrum,
yeah.
before you can cry, there's a reason. So there's a justified reason going on, as I have justification to be angry about this.
Yeah.
That needs to be addressed. If you don't address that, you'll keep needing to be angry before you get sad. So you could say the anger is like a layer on top of your sadness, preventing a full expression of your sadness. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? So you're
Yeah.
never going to get to the bottom of your sadness doing this. At the end of the day, it needs to change, and you need to get to the stage where you no longer go into rage and you just straight away go into sadness.
Yeah.
Right?
It can help if you, in that process of hitting the bag, emotionally realize your demand. Because every time you're angry, you have a demand. Whether it's demand not to feel grief, demand someone meet my addiction.
So in other words, Mary's saying you see your addiction.
Yes.
Yeah.
If in that process that connects you to that, that's helpful, isn't
Helpful,
it?
but
if
not the solution.
it's you still got to do the work on the demand. It's like what Nettie shared last weekend. You know, he had to come to the point where he realised, and I recognise this in my own journey as well, where you realise every time I'm angry, I'm just demanding something from my environment change,
Yeah.
rather than feel what I feel.
And rather than me change.
Yeah.
And or
Because-
me change something.
I'm trying to force change externally rather than me have to make changes in my own life.
Frequently what we want is everyone around us to make changes without us even telling them they need to. Without us even informing them that the reason why we feel they need to. Without us even having confronting discussions about what's going on and why we feel the way we do. We just want everybody imaginally around us go, oh, Yvette's unhappy. How can we all make her happy? You know, like that's what we want. We basically want everybody to know that you're unhappy without you having to say you're unhappy, and without you having to express it, and without you having to experience it. And you also want them to work out that, you naughty people, that you haven't worked out that. And then we go down this track, we're going, oh, if they don't work it out, they don't love me. So now I'm adding to my expectations, actually. All right? And so quite often we go off and have our tantrum because nobody loves me. I've got to deal with all this myself. Feelings, right? And you know what? You're dead right. You're going to have to deal with it all yourself. It's in you. Nobody else can do it for you. And if you expect them to, then basically what you're going to be doing is engaging addiction to overcome a feeling in you that's never going to get overcome by the addiction. And that's the problem, is that this is the potential of what the rage creates. So I've seen people stay in rage for a long time, you know, like hundreds of years, rage, you know. In the spirit world, it's very rare for a person to stay in rage less than like 10 years. You know, I remember the channeling last week, Nettie, he stayed in rage for 3 months. That's pretty rare. You know, it's very rare to stay in rage just for 3 months. Most people stay in rage a lot longer than that. And on Earth, it's almost half of their life they stay in rage, generally.
Well, if everyone in this room is very honest, they're harbouring anger about
All
something
sorts of
for
things,
many
yeah.
years, at least one issue.
Yeah.
And this is the other thing, when you go and punch the bag, sometimes it helps you realise, whoa, I'm really angry about this issue, that I've been denying that for years.
Yeah.
You know, that's also helpful, but
Yeah.
again, it's, as Jesus said, not the solution.
Not the solution.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So yes, it's important for us to say rage is a sin, anger is a sin. I'm not saying don't feel it, because you know, obviously you need to know and understand yourself enough to know you are feeling it, but you also need to see, I'm feeling this because I actually don't want to go there. I actually don't want to deal with the real problem, whatever the real problem is. And frequently we do that for lots and lots of different reasons, and each of us have created a whole labyrinth of internal dialogue as to why we shouldn't have to go there for the most part. Yeah.
I had an experience, this is some years ago now, where I felt like I'd been doing work on my relationship with my parents in this life. I felt like I'd been dealing with things. I felt like I understood how that affected me. I sort of saw the issue. And I hadn't seen my parents for 5 or 6 years maybe. I needed to go and see my mum and collect something. And when I got there, whoa, I got angry. I got so angry. It's the first time in my adult life that I was angry at my mum, but I was really angry with her. And I left there going, I haven't done anything. I'm still demanding that she change rather than grieve, you know? So, yeah.
Easy to stay in those states for long times. Yeah.